we're looking for the Snurf, Mr. Snurf man. Hey, well, we have to talk to Snurf, but we'll do it later. Oh, ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this? I'm gonna explode, aren't I? Hey, Callistage. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll have to ask around. Let's talk to Snurf. Snurf! Snurf! I love that fucking name. Slouched before you is a figure clad in a dusty, unremarkable robe. Loose folds of rough cloth shift to reveal a vaguely humanoid form, with elonged facial features and 2 elaborate biomechanical arms. You can't help but notice the size, the shape, and even the number of digits changing as it tinkers with a bizarre-looking device on the table. It glances up at you. Its eyes are the size of your palms. You realize it is a visitant, a being from another world. God, what does Snurf sound like? Greetings, fellow sentient. I guess that's what Snurf sounds like, everyone. I will be with you in a moment. Its mechanical... I'm sorry. That's the only voice I can think of. Its mechanical fingers contract and dance independently over the surface of the device. Before it, adjusting and tightening. There. I am Snurf, guest of the Order of Truth. What brings you to my workspace? That's the only voice I can think of. I'm sorry. I think. Can you pronounce that name again, please? You were hearing a brief allusion to my name, correct? A majority of the component syllables are untranslated. I can't keep that up. I can't keep that up. No, Oberon, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay. I'll just give him my nerd voice. You are hearing a brief allusion in my name, correct? A majority of the component syllables are untranslatable or beyond human ranges of hearing. I will try to approximate them. It draws in a deep breath. Snellanarga, with a brief poem about the ambient temperature of dust and moonlight here. Gondhas, the word that describes a color similar to blue. Ramalurf. Huh. I think I like Snurf more. I prefer the name you people here. My name is all too common where I come from. Snurf. I like this guy. This guy is one of my favorite PCs in the whole game. For one very specific reason we'll get to. Tell me about yourself, Snurf. Your curiosity honors me, it says, inclining its head. I came through the bloom from another world. To be honest, I was exiled for inadvertent sacrilege and perversion. Yeah, we all have our accidental sacrilege and perversion story. Am I right, fellas? I would imagine that you are curious about my people's reproductive process at some point. Excuse me. Go on. The more detail, the better. Hell yeah, baby. Okay. Oh yeah, you bet my red tide was raised. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this guy, all he does is talk about the reproductive processes of other alien species, and it is great. I could listen to how Monty Cook thinks other aliens reproduce for hours, and that is not a joke. There's actually some really fascinating details, but also it's just funny to be like, yeah, this is the alien that researches how other species bang. It is a rather complicated topic, however, so let me know when you're ready to speak at length. Oh, be at length, alright. Okay. Hit me with it. Hit me with it, Snurf Daddy. Deprived of the layers of sociological complexity, the process is quite simple, the visitant says. At a certain age, my people ceremonially choose a limb for removal. Oh, well, this is significantly less sexy than I thought it would be. The limb is grown into a new being. Children in your terminology. Its size. This is where matters get more complicated. The selected part relegates that child to a caste. Armed children become laborers. Leg children become warriors. And head children, due to the sacrifice implied in their creation, become leaders. Snurf studies its metal hands. As I've suggested, the limbs we surrender do not grow back. In fact, those who replace their limbs insult their children and sin against their people. So yeah, I don't like my children. I'm kind of a bad father. Or whatever I am. You are correct, unfortunately. What did I say? This is where your biomechanical arms come in, I imagine. I surrendered my arms to create my children. They grew to maturity and joined me in my study of various void-born Numenera. For a time, we were happy. It lowers its eyes. Have I been referring to Snurf as a dude this whole time? I'm sorry. A fellow it pronouns user, I see. Then I discovered a melted humanoid figure. I did no more than glance at its folded arms before it opened its eyes. That's the last thing I remember. I awoke with the arms you see now. My children, thinking that I had disowned them, disowned me. And my people were even less merciful. They kicked me, they pushed me down the stairs, and my shoes fell off. I'm sorry that happened to you. Shit sucks, man. Your sympathy is appreciated, but not warranted, the visitant says, though it is avoiding your eyes. I have found other ways to take my mind of the loss of my family and my people since. Porn! We didn't have that on my planet. It was only when I began visiting other worlds that I learned that most species do not reproduce by severing their limbs. The discovery fascinated me, and so I began cataloging the various methods of procreation found throughout the void. It was only when I found my way to Sage's Cliffs, by way of the Bloom, that I was offered a place to work, here in the Order of Truth. And there you have it. Yeah, so you can just come back to this guy and be like, tell me, just give me a random alien species and tell me how they reproduce. And a lot of them are really interesting. I don't know if I'll do any in this video, just because, you know what, let's do one. Let's do one. Because I could genuinely listen to him talk about how different species reproduce all day. Color veils. Though they are brutal creatures formed from organic and inorganic substances, they do share certain characteristics with my people. They do not have genders and reproduced by expelling an organic mass deep into moist, fertile soil. The mass eventually grows into an autonomous being. You ever... I keep forgetting what Tiber sounds. You ever make it for the Nevergene? Asks Tiber. I think you've misunderstood. I don't engage in intercourse with the various creatures I study. I did once, Tiber continues airily as if Snurf hadn't replied. At least, I think I did. Both of us were very drunk. Well then. So the, what are they called? The fucking, color rails just kind of shit in the dirt, and that shit grows into children. And that's how you get baby boomers. So it doesn't look like he knows where we could find Allegaren's friend. What about Mr. Lan Uring, who sounds like a pretentious German film director? The thin young man smiles hesitantly as you approach. You notice a small metallic ovoid protruding from his skull, nearly hidden by his disheveled hair. The fingers of his left hand tap nervously on his leg as he speaks. "I'm not a real priest yet," he blurts, then brush it. Is that what you are thinking? Usually visitors only talk to me because they think I'm a priest, but I'm still a novice. He plucks at a threadbare spot on his robes. What's that implant on your forehead, you fucking freak? It's not just on my forehead, he says. Not just the skin, I mean. It's bonded with my skull. He blinks at you a few times before he realizes he hasn't answered your question. It keeps me awake and alert. I don't get tired until it runs out of power. What powers it? Love. Dreams, he says. Oh, I wasn't that far off. The scarier ones, the better. What's your area of study? What? He says, blinking, straightening. You want to know what I'm working on? Are you sure? Is it particularly complicated? Is it super boring? Would it make for good content for a Let's Play? I don't think so, but people usually get impatient or angry, or they laugh. But I'll tell you, if you really want to know. Sure, why not? I'm designing an intelligence, but not the normal kind. Not just metal with a dependent intelligence rigging system. No, it's larger than that, stronger. Lan himself seems to be getting stronger, rising as he speaks. You hadn't noticed before, but he is actually taller than you. The idea is this: an intelligence that can find, test, identify, and fully understand Numenera. We can unlock the secrets of lost civilizations. His eyes are gleaming now, and he raises a trembling fist. Do you understand? If we do this, we can break the chains binding us to the past, and turn them into reins with which to steer the future! I can't help noticing that your plan is long on rhetoric and short on specifics. Oh wow, I seem to be getting a lot of blue tide. I'm gonna need to check what that is. I have a plan, he says defensively, dropping his righteous fist. But it will take more time and money. The fervent gleam slowly fades from his eyes. It's only a theory, though, for now. I don't have the funding, not yet, but I've been studying machines with Min when he can spare the time. And he likes my ideas, even if he thinks they're impossible. He looks away. I think he's disappointed I'm not a real Aeon priest yet. Don't you want to be one? Oh, yes, that would change everything. Only full Aeon priests have access to the Order's funds. I can use them to build a full prototype. Min might protest, but he'll understand once I get the design right. He licks his lips. They're dry, almost leathery. I just need to get it right, that's all. What do you need to become an Aeon priest? You have to make a major discovery. A mystery that's remained unsolved for a long time. But I've spent too much time in my own research. I haven't gotten anywhere. Alright, well, see ya. Have fun with that, I guess. Okay, what's the blue tide? There it is. Oh, nope. Scholar! Alright. The blue tide represents wisdom, reason, and enlightenment. People attuned to this tide seek information and the preservation of knowledge in all forms, whether scientific or spiritual. Scholars, teachers, guides, and mystics are often attuned to this tide. I like that. I could live with that. Okay, sorry, I heard a rumbling, and I was like, is that in the game? It is. Min! Hello, friend. The priest is tall, thin, and dressed in only black. Narrow slashes of oil decorate his unlined skin like letters in an unknown tongue. His eyes are harried but alive with intelligent humor. They land on you with a tiny flicker of recognition. Then, his gaze moves from you to Alagern and hardens. "Oh, good," he says. "No one shouted at me for hours." "I already said everything I need to," Alagern says, folding his arms. "Anything else would be a waste of breath." "What's going on here?" "You're looking at men of Tan Liang, head puppet of the Order of Truth. More interested in where the next shin is coming from than, say, doing any actual research." "This may shock you," Min says, "and it shouldn't, because we've had this talk before, but research into the Numenera takes time. Orth needs a quiet place to work. He needs food and a bed, and none of this is free." Min sweeps a hand through his dark hair. "Like it or not, and I know you don't, the slave families demand cooperation for their shins. If we don't maintain their levy network, if we don't play their games, that funding goes away. And so does the Order of Truth." Alagern, you're not exactly being fair here." "Maybe not," he says, crossing his arms. "But I don't remember fair being one of the requirements for the truth. Maybe I'm wrong." Min sighs and turns his full attention to you. "I recognize you," he says. "It's been, 10 years? I don't think we ever spoke. You were the one visiting Salamari all the time, right? Working on some sort of organic machine technology?" "That's one word for what we were working on." "Huh. Well, welcome back," he says, unaware of, or perhaps ignoring, Alagern's muffled grumbling at your side. "What brings you to the Order of Truth?" "Where's Orthfang now?" "Looking into Alagern's problems," Min says, cocking his head at your companion. "I think he mentioned leaving a note for you on his work table in case you stopped by, but he was in a hurry." So what are you working on, my guy?" "That's a big question, even on the best days. I specialize in mechanical Numenera, intelligent or not, but I haven't had much time for research since I started managing our branch of the Order." Tell me about some mechanical Numenera." "I would be incredibly grateful if you did. Every other conversation I have revolves around how I'm ruining the Order, or not doing enough to save the Order." He rubs his forehead with the back of his calloused hands. "Please, ask me about wires and blinking lights." "Tell me about that machine behind you. You know, the big fucking green goblin-looking ass." "It makes levies, the guardians of sages." He rubs his chin. "Our records say that Divyataku found a similar device in the ruins of These fucking names. Archopelagia, far to the north. He convinced the city that a local version, a modified one, would be of use. In order to become a citizen, everyone in Sage's Cliffs, even the ones born here, give a year of their lives to the machine. It uses that borrowed time to create a levy." No one should be forced to give up their lives like that." "It's just a year," he says. "And it's not as though it hurts, or even that you feel the time leaving you. You walk in, walk out, and get on with your day. At any rate, the levies created by the machine are nearly identical, and they only last a year. After that, they quietly return to the machine and dissolve into..." His hand grips the air, trying to frame the words. "Grey gunk. It's incredibly unpleasant to watch, but they don't seem to mind." "Fascinating." "It is, and nothing is wasted. We use the same gunk for the next levy. Good thing, too, I have no idea how to make more of the stuff. Anyway, that's the machine. Any other questions?" "Yeah, I'm trying to repair a device known as a resonance chamber." "Your what?" I thought that thing was a myth, and you're trying to repair it. Where is it? I'd rather not say. Ah, he says, probably wise. Probably wise. Anyway, do you have any piece of the machine with you? I have a shard of it right here. Take a look. He handles the shard with care. Organic and crystalline. It was ground into the appropriate shape of the machine. This is definitely what Salamari was working on all those years ago, with her partner. He looks at you, his eyebrow raised, but doesn't say more. Reluctantly, he hands it back to you. In all honesty, I focus more on traditionally powered machines. Salamari has some experience with organic machine construction. You might ask her about it. Let's talk about something else. Abudu, what is it? See ya, bitch! Okay, so... what's his name left a note for us? Abhumans of this... Okay. It's probably something we can sell. These books are piled haphazardly on the floor. They reflect a dozen areas of inquiry, most of which are entirely unrelated to each other. Oop, didn't mean to press that. This glowing display shows a globe. The ninth world, probably. Green lines depict trajectories that a ship could follow into the void between worlds. This desk is tidy and neat. A book entitled Ecology of Biomechanical Hybrids is open to a sparse entry on the enigmatic Nycthamurin. Whatever that is. Is the note over here? The desk is cluttered with scrawled notes, piles of paper, and more books. The owner was either extremely disorganized or left in a hurry. Alligaron steps closer to the desk. He growls in frustration. This is where Orthfog usually works. If he left a message, it must be here somewhere. Examine the papers and books. Before you have a chance to examine the mess, Alligaron leans forward and plucks a folded note from the top of the pile. Orth is a paranoid bastard. He writes all his messages in code. Looks like this one's for me. He breaks the wax seal and scans the note. As he reads, his face grows tight with fury. Fawn took my frame and left. He said it's not safe here. He wrote more about my tattoos and... He snaps his mouth shut. Never mind. He's not here. He glances toward the Aeon priests. We could talk about it some other time. Ooh, that's spooky. Well, oh yeah, we haven't talked to, Calistage yet. Hey, Callie. Ah, you're still traveling with the Amling Mood Dampener. Good. One shouldn't become too ebullient. A handful of words and you've reminded me how grateful I am not to see you every day. And I you, Alligan. Indeed, the sum happiness of my sisters has improved dramatically. Now, cast off if you need to speak with me. If you wish to speak with me, I'll need to retain my sunny disposition. By which I mean, lose this wretch if you want me more amenable to your words. Damn, lady. You're mean. I think that's everyone. So let's... Splitsville. Okay, so... I want to go on a... Yeah, I want to do... Fuck, better words. The Lazaret quest. Ornate gilded structure in the Reef of Fallen Worlds. Okay. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Let's see if this guy has anything that we can buy. I wanted some more, like, consumables, because, Tiber's getting pretty low on intellect. Granted, I don't know if he's, like, a fucking, unless he's a nano. Oh yeah, I should check his sheet. I should check both their sheets, so I know what they can actually do. Yeah, so we're going to go to the Lazaret, get some tasty, delicious experience points. I'll probably poke around that man is named the Genocide. Seems friendly. But yeah, let me take a look at these boys. Iterate. Oh, he is a nano. No, Alakir's a nano, sorry. Tiber's a jack. Makes sense, so... Okay, yeah, so... Yeah, let's do that. I do want to poke around Sage's Cliffs more, talk to more people, because this game's world is probably one of the most fascinating aspects about it. So, yeah, definitely want to talk to some more people. Now, ooh, what's this? Looks spooky. There's a shallow depression in the surface here, like many others scattered around the construct. Unlike the others, energy still pulses across this one at random intervals. A slight yet implacable sense of unease emanates with each wave of energy. There's a loose lens at the center of the depression. You think you could redirect the psychic effects somewhere more useful, but it'll be tricky to get it in between the energy pulses. Without any antagonists to aim it towards, the device doesn't serve any obvious purpose. Probably something that I could have used if I had chosen to fight Koro and his people. Okay. See. Man, Alagaran has pretty low intellect for a nano. Or maybe I just think it's low because I'm intellect 10. What's this? Oh, those are hands. Oh, I don't like that. A tangled cluster of metallic tendrils grows from the depths of the nearby water. Strangely, they resembled clawed alien hands, most of which have 7 or 8 fingers. Just look at it. The hands sway softly, but their movements are difficult to follow. Watching them for too long makes you feel nauseous. Apart from the hands themselves, you don't notice anything of interest in the cluster. Yeah, let's move on. I want to find the thing. Yeah, it's just water. There's not really anywhere else I can go, is there? There's these things that we already talked to. Oh, I can go across this. Sexy. A bubbling mass of sludge floats on the surface of the water. Every once in a while, an oily nodule separates from it and hurtles into the sky. You catch momentary glimpses of a muck-coated object in the putrid mass. Let's examine it. Carefully, you lean close to the heaving mass. After a moment's study, you notice that the globules rising into the sky always contain something. Be it a shining core of untainted seawater or a tiny fish. Interesting. Let's try and grab it. Wow, base difficulty is 60. Dang. This is gonna be easy peasy. Haha! I did it. I found a cipher. Ciphers are Numenera objects that can trigger a powerful effect but can only be used once. I can only have 2. For now, anyway. The next time sunlight strikes the object's surface streak, you're ready. You snatch it from the oily mass and clean it as best you can. Sorry, I thought that was the device's description. I was like, so it's gonna go off the next time it strikes sunlight? I'm kind of fucked. Look at the item. 10 points of intellect and confers... Ooh. A simmering jar made of metallic glass. Inside the jar rests a strange miasma. Its vapors sit crystalline and perfectly still until held. The glass vessel twists and writhes when grasped. When you put your ear to the device and listen closely, sounds of weeping and hysterical laughter rise from within. Warmed to the touch, once inhaled, the vessel becomes ice cold. The user feels panic, fear, nausea, and then sweet relief. A torrent of emotions akin to getting a full rest. Ooh, nice. You know, most people don't go sticking their hands into reeking sludge, but it seems to have worked out for you. This time, anyway. Is there anything else? Figure not. Okay, let's... Definitely looks like the place. Is there like a back entrance? Is there a back door? Is there a drive-thru? What's this? Think of the loot. Money. Nice. Alright, so those should restore might and intellect. Let's go ahead and use it on, what's this fuck? Eat. Just fucking stab him with it. I love this game. Alright, let's go. Let's go, boys. Da 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 da. This metal door is thick, heavy, and unmarked by time. Double rows of circular bumps run horizontally and vertically across its surface. As you approach the door, one of the bumps suddenly slides open, revealing a circular aperture. A few tiny, waving strands of synth emerge from the hole. Spooky. Hold the eye up to it. The waving strands whip out, wrapping themselves around the eye. For a moment, the eye comes to life, buzzing and whispering, getting warmer in your hand. The synth fibers make soft, fluttery sounds in return. After a moment, they withdraw. The door slides open, and you step into the chamber beyond. And are immediately killed. Oh, shit, man. Sorry, I made that joke in the last episode. Or the last stream. Oh! Hi, friends! Oof. A cluster of hunched creatures awaits you in this dark room, smelling of rust and blood. They are bird-like abhumans with chipped beaks, matted feathers, and filthy leather robes. It's not their appearances that remind you who they are. It's the gritty static that fills your head, a side effect of the creature's telepathy. These are Murdens, cruel and cunning scavengers, and a fifth of their number lies dead on the ground, with great chunks torn out of its body. What an odd place to find Murdens. Oh, wait, no, that's Tiber. What an odd place to find Murdens. Well, at least killing them is good for the health. It is? Of course. Nothing spread disease. Or so I'm told. If you don't fancy a fight to the death just now, we could try parley. Just know they'll attack if you back them into a corner. Or if you show even a hint of weakness. Good luck. The largest Murden straightens, eyeing you, snapping its beak once, twice. It seems to be waiting for you to speak. What happened to your dead friend? The Murdens shriek and toss their feathered heads at your words. The largest one swells beneath his words, puffing out his down? Whatever that means. Like a threatened bird of prey. And yet none of them will quite meet your eyes. The largest one bares its talons at you, hissing, and the clinging static of its thoughts intensifies. Wait casually. The lead Murden cocks its head at your disregard, its filthy feathers falling limp. The other creatures glance uncertainly at each other. Step aside, boys. Step aside, boys. Hell yeah, I did it! With sliding, careful steps, the Murdens ease past you through the open door. Your eyes are drawn back to the half-eaten Murden on the ground. They must have been trapped in here for a long time. Aw, poor guys. Well, they're just like, alright, we're headed out. Caw! Well, that was surprisingly easy. Let's loot his corpse! This Murden has been dead for at least a day or two. The lower portion of its body is missing, and its midsection has been torn open to get at the viscera inside. Examine this bad boy. Burn marks speckle the creature's foul, leathery robes. Lifting these carefully aside, you see the unhealed wounds beneath. The Murden was probably killed by beam weapons, and none of the other Murdens were carrying any. Ooh. This does not account for the other damage done to the corpse. Flesh was torn from the creature in long strips, and since the Murden was trapped in the antechamber with its fellows, you can guess what happened next. Okay, so it seems like it was already dead, and they were just like, well, waste not, want not. Which, you know, isn't not fucked up. But what's this? What's this? What's this? Metal panels and parts have been torn from the wall, as if someone were trying to rip their way out, but to no avail. A gravity bomb. Kick ass. Yeah, you take the bomb. I'll take the shin. Let's make lots of money. What's in here? More money, hell yeah. Let's press these buttons, why not? The chromed pillar descends as you approach, exposing a long shaft ringed with snaking cables. Dim light filters up from below. Yeah, why not? Why not explore it?